A couple of years ago, I made a mistake that absolutely ruined my son's love of learning. As a brain-based coach and home eder, I see so many unschooling parents do the exact same thing over and over again without even realizing it. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you what the mistake is and how to avoid it so your child's natural love of learning stays intact. Let me start by telling you what happened with my son. My son, who's amazingly physical, was loving going to a parkour class, but about 8 weeks in, his interest suddenly switched off. He just stopped wanting to go. Now, when that happens, you shouldn't just shrug and think, oh well, kids are fickle. You've got to ask yourself, what happened that he stopped being interested? Now, to understand what happened, you first need to know about Ivan Pavlov. In the 1890s, Ivan Pavlov stumbled upon something that changed how the whole world understood learning. In his groundbreaking experiments, he found that if dogs heard a bell at mealtime, they'd eventually drool at the sound of the bell alone. It's called a learned association. The dogs associated the sound of the bell with food. So they started salivating at the sound of the bell even when there was no food. Our brains do the same thing. When something important happens, everything around us, the sights, the sounds, the emotions, they get linked together. That's why a smell can trigger a memory. So now you understand learned association, let me tell you about the mistake I made. One day we were on our way to parkour, but we were running late. I kept hurrying him along, but my son was dragging his feet and we were getting later and later, but the later we were, the more frustrated I got. Eventually, he just stopped and refused to go any further. I was annoyed, he was upset, and we ended up turning back and going home. After that, he didn't want to go back to parkour. My frustration and his upset had become linked to parkour. Now, it's worth knowing that children find parents being upset or angry or frustrated profoundly distressing. We're supposed to be the ones that love them and care for them, and when we take that love and care away, their brain treats it as a massive survival risk, so it's a huge stress for them. His brain's way of avoiding that stress was simple: stop going. If an activity gets paired with stress or conflict, especially coming from you, the brain remembers the stress, not just the activity. The danger is, if it keeps happening, it quietly chips away at your child's natural love of learning. So what can you do to make sure that a learned association doesn't happen? Well, first, understand you can't stop learned associations. The brain will always link things together. But it's stressful experiences that shuts learning down. Kids can only learn when their nervous system is calm. And as I said, one of the most stressful things for kids is seeing their parents get annoyed, angry, or even just impatient. If you want your child's love of learning to thrive, you being calm is their foundation. You can't control every association, but you can control the stress your child links to learning. So the key is to catch yourself before your own stress kicks in. The goal isn't to be perfect. No one gets it right every time. But the more you can catch yourself before you hit your limit, the more your child's love of learning will thrive. But knowing not to let stress take over isn't enough when you're already at capacity. You have to be able to spot what's stressing your brain in the first place. So in the next video, I'm going to show you the 4 things that stress your brain and leave you with less capacity for your children. So watch this video here.